You're listening to Own Your Creativity with story coach Elizabeth Johnston. Hello, everybody. Elizabeth Johnston here, your story and creativity coach. So today I'm going to talk to you about the missing piece in your business. And since I'm the story coach, obviously it's going to be about story. And, I see a lot of people wondering about how to use story. What's the best approach? Should I be doing it? Should I not be doing it? Well, you definitely should be. And, for those people who need hard facts and data to support things that you're doing in your business. And I think sometimes with when you're talking about story in your business, maybe facts are even more important because we do tell stories every day. It's ubiquitous in our lives. It's very common. In fact, we understand things about ourselves and each other and the world through stories. It's almost like breathing. And so because we just kind of take it for granted, I think that there's a lot of skepticism sometimes about the value of story in our business. And I'm pleased to tell you that there actually are people out there who are studying this very topic and generating some amazing data and statistics that support using story in your business. And so one of them was an experiment conducted by journalist Robert Walker in collaboration with writer Joshua Glenn. And they looked at the potential impact that storytelling could have on the perceived value of products. And according to their research, when a story was paired with an item, it increased the overall perceived value of the product by around 2,706%. So think about what you are charging right now for something, and multiply that by 2,706%. And that's the potential of the perceived value that you could create around your course or your program or your product or your service or your coaching if you start using story in your business. Now, Walker and Glenn's project was based on writers inventing a story, right? It was fiction. It was made up. So they invented this story to go with an object to see if it would increase its perceived value. And in some cases, actually, it was even more than that 2,706. It was more like 4,000%. So now when you are using personal story in your business, it's really important to make it real and authentic and true, right? You don't want to be making anything up or fudging details because people will find that out, right? We're attuned to listening to stories. As soon as somebody says once upon a time, it's like there's some kind of thing that goes on inside of us. It's like, ooh, radar, story, tell me a story. And so we're listening really keenly. And just like kids, when you used to read bedtime stories to your child or to your nieces and nephews, that, you'd be reading the story and maybe you want to skip parts of it or you left things out or you got something wrong in how you read it. The kids would tell you, no, that's not right. This is what happens, right? Because we're listening. Story is so powerful. And so you want to be real, authentic, and true. And when you're using personal story in your business, but even though you're using real stories and not made up stories, that doesn't mean that you can't increase the perceived value of your own courses, programs, and stories and services with story. And in fact, the exact opposite is the case. And so, and the truth is that people often don't get what you do until you tell them a story about it. Right? or they don't get that you could actually help them until you tell a story about that. And so this is because, according to researchers, the hormonal change which takes place when we listen to a story helps to increase our feelings of connection and affinity towards an item or person or program or course, fill in the blank. This also improves the amount we're willing to pay for a product. And if you want to start sharing story in your business, now is the time. I encourage you to join the Storytelling Superpowers Micro Summit that I'm hosting this coming week. And we actually kick off tomorrow with the pre-game live stream. And the link to register is going to be below this video. But I wanted to share with you some details about what you're going to encounter and what you're in for when you sign up for the Storytelling Superpowers Micro Summit. So let me share my screen here. Here we go. So this is our schedule for the Storytelling Superpowers Micro Summit. And I decided to do a micro summit because I think that we're also hugely busy in our lives that sometimes we just get overloaded, right? So I purposely have made this a micro summit, and there are going to be 5 different events, and there's going to be 3 speakers. Some of it is going to be recorded so you can watch it at your leisure, and some of it's going to be live, but even the live parts are going to be recorded and put into our community so you can, again, go back and watch it. And so even if you're in a different time zone other than Eastern, which is my time zone, it's still completely possible for you to gain value when you join us on the Micro Summit. So the first thing that's going to happen is tomorrow, the pregame event. And I'm going to give you an overview and an orientation for the week ahead and how it all works. I'm going to talk about the contest and the prizes that you could win. And then day 1 is with Antonia Van Becker and Greg Lee. You get to watch their recording of how to instantly heal your writer's block by tapping into your inner wisdom. This is something that I did with them together. And it was so powerful. They really are gifted healers that if you have writer's block, if you've ever sat down to start writing stories for your business, and then there's a zillion other things that take your attention away, that's writer's block. This is going to help. It really is a powerful, powerful segment. And then right after that is the Q&A with Greg Lee. So he'll be joining us live. And even if you can't make it live, you can post your questions in our community, and I can ask them during that live segment. And then that will be recorded and put into our community for you to watch. The second day is Rob Forte. He's an email expert, and he's going to be talking about telling tales, making sales, how to harness the power of stories in your email marketing. And I know that there's a lot of you out there who wish that you knew what kind of stories to put into your emails and does it work and how to do it. So Rob Forte is your go-to person for that. So this is also a recording, and that will be available in our community for you to watch. And then afterwards, you can join us at 4 p.m. for a live Q&A session with Rob Forte. And then we'll scroll down here. So then on day 3, I'm going to be talking about the power of story, three things every entrepreneur needs to know. And that's going to be live, but right afterwards or shortly after, I will put the recording in our community and you can consume it there. There'll also be a live Q&A session with me. And again, if you can't make the live Q&A sessions, you can always post your question in our thread in our community, and I'll ask or answer those questions during the live Q&A. And then we have a bonus day on Friday, which during that, I'm going to announce the winners of the contest. And it's going to be followed by a Story Circle writing workshop for entrepreneurs. And so, it's a perfect way to kickstart your creativity and start getting into a bit of flow with coming up with ideas for story in your business. And that's going to be followed by a Q&A with me as well. And this is all live on the bonus day. But again, it will be recorded and you can check it out at your leisure after that. Now, when I go live on Friday, which is our bonus day, and announce the winners, the way that you can gain points to be eligible for the grand prize and the other prizes is by showing up and posting a question or, an aha moment that you had while you were watching the recordings or the lives, and a variety of other things, including doing your introduction. And the grand prize for everybody who gets a perfect score throughout the week with us, they will get to come to a business vision session with me. And then that's like a VIP group session. And then there are a couple of other prizes as well that even if you don't get a perfect score, you will be eligible for the spin of the wheel to potentially get those prizes. So a lot more detail will be provided for you tomorrow during the pregame event. And I also wanted to let you know that you can actually upgrade and you get like a ton of amazing things. Okay. So it's free to come to the summit, but if you upgrade, and it's just $47 to upgrade, you get the complete Storytelling Superpowers Summit Library access. So what you're being treated to in this micro summit is just a small portion of what, let me just see if there's any, I think there was a question here. Portion? Yeah, here we go. Yes. So it's just a small portion of what's actually in the Storytelling Summer Superpowers Summit. And so not only will you get that, but you'll also get the additional Q&A and live portions from this week. That's going to be added to the Storytelling Superpowers Summit library that already exists. And that has several more speakers in it. And I'll just skip down here. So these are the additional speakers that are in the Summit video vault. And so you can check them out a little bit later, but there's others. And so as well, you get the Memoir Summit video vault. So this is 20 plus speakers. And for anybody who wants to go that next step beyond just writing individual stories and who actually wants to think about, compiling them or extending them and putting them, publishing them as a book. This, everything from ideation to publication is in the Memoir Summit Video Vault. The other thing that you get when you upgrade to VIP for the Micro Summit is you can join me in the Zoom green room for the watch parties. So as I said, some of the things are going to be recorded, like Antonia Becker and Greg Lee and Rob Fortier. And so they're going to be available for you to watch pretty much at your leisure, whenever is good for you. But we are going to have a watch party. So at 3 p.m. every day, that's when we show up for the Micro Summit. On those days, day 1 and day 2, for the recordings, you can be in the green room behind the scenes with me watching it, or you could watch it at your leisure and then come for the green room too. And you get extra time with me and with each other, a little bit of networking and getting to know each other. And you can bring your questions to the live Q&A sessions, and everybody is welcome in the live Q&A sessions that we'll have, but priority will be given to the VIPs. So yeah. Then also, there's Q&A and coaching for me and networking with your like-minded colleagues. So that's just $47, and it will go up to $97 as tomorrow night at midnight, February 19th, which is at the Eastern. All times are in Eastern. Yeah. So like I said, definitely you can get a lot of good stuff if you just attend live with a free admission, but you do get so much more if you do your VIP upgrade. And yeah, so that is it. All right. To get your free ticket for the Storytelling Superpowers Micro Summit, just go to the show notes and the link will be there. I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the summit. And I'll see you tomorrow for the pregame event. Take care, everyone.